Hey, shalom, shalom. This is Moth, Ben Yashar ibn Abarium. This is Moth from the Israel, from the Ephraim. Salakia. Before I get started, I'll give all praises and honors my power. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash. Shalom to Malkim Magwa from the Biome. That's tuned into the video. That's peace to brothers, sisters, and children. That's tuned into this video. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about faith, which I feel like it's talked a lot, but again, I also feel like it's very important to harken on the fundamentals. But also, it's going to be a quick lesson, super quick lesson. Just going to get straight to the point. Understanding that faith really make it all, you know? Because if you got faith, you're going to keep the commandments. If you got faith, you're going to have works. It's like a driving force behind Slakia. Slakia. Dude, why is it super Slakia? Wow, washing machine. Slakia. Bear with me. It's a driving force behind everything. So, let's get into it. It's the book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6, and it reads, "But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh with the power must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." Now, I know most people, obviously there are some people that are new. Notice, heard this precept probably 100 million times. But it's very important to understand that. If you don't got faith, you can't please him. And we're going to pull up one more precept after that, and then we're going to go through different accounts of different people and how their faith made them who they are, right? Because you get to say, his faith is important, but when you read these stories of these notable men and their faith and what they did for them, makes it easier for one person to understand how important it is for faith, right? The book of James chapter 2 verse 14. Important to have faith. Slacky, I misread that wrong. James chapter 2 verse 14, and it reads, "What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, Depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful of the body, what doth it profit? Even so faith, if it have not works, it is dead being alone." So, understanding, if you have faith, you most likely going to have works, because again, it's going to force you to keep the commandments. It's going to force you to act upon righteousness, right? Because you have faith, because you believe, you have that driving force. So, just getting those two basics down and understanding that, now we can get to more of the meaty stuff. Let's see here. Let's go here. This is something that we just read. There we go. That we read in a Bible study. Last night actually, and something that we talked about today in camp. The book of Genesis chapter 17 verse 1. And when Abram, that was his name before his change. His name was changed to Abraham. Was 90 years old and 9, so he was 99 years old. Adonai Yahweh appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the almighty power, walk before me and be thou perfect. So Abram has always had faith. But when we talked about it earlier, especially if he was able to catch the Bible study, not the Bible study, our camp earlier today, Abraham was raised as a Gentile, as a heathen. But he had faith, right? His number is important to understand. He was 99 years old. He was 99 years old, raised as a heathen, but the Lord seen something in him, right? And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly, right? Understand that the Lord came to Abram to talk to him because he saw something in him, right? Now let's go down to the point. Let's go down to the point. There we go, Slakia. This is where we wanted to start off with. Slakia. Book of Genesis chapter 17 verse 24. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9. Again, he's 99 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. So he wasn't, is a commandment that you have to be circumcised, right? Now we say of the flesh, right? But he had faith, so he was circumcised of the heart, of the mind, and that's why the Lord was rocking with him. Because you see, earlier in the Bible, not earlier in the Bible, earlier in this chapter we read, the Lord came to him to start to have a covenant with him. The Lord came to him because he viewed him as a man of the Lord, because he had faith. He already had faith, but he was going off. But you see what that faith got him, right? And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And then the same self day, Abraham circumcised and Ishmael, his son, and all the men of the house brought into the house and brought with money of the stranger were circumcised with him. So not only did he circumcise the son after himself, he went and circumcised all the people that were serving him in solitude and servitude. Abraham had faith. And that's the reason why the Lord deemed him as a man of the Lord to have that covenant with him. Faith is important, right? It's super important. And this is another story talking about Abraham. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 22, chapter 10. I believe I just got down to the point, but this is Abraham and Isaac, right? Abraham stretched forth his hand and took his knife to slay his son, talking about Isaac. So the Lord, was testing him, say, kill your son, kill Isaac. Abraham, having faith, was like, all right, bet. Whatever you say, Lord, I'm going to do it. And the angel, Elohim, of Ha'adwan Yahweh, called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. He said, here I am. He said, lay not thine hand upon the lad, and neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the power, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. Abraham was really about to kill his son, Isaac, because the Lord told him to. Because he has faith. He had faith. There's another one. This is another one talking about Job. And we're just gonna hop down to the point. But if you matter of fact, no, let's read this whole thing. It's not long. It's not long. The book of Job, chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day where the sons of the power came to present themselves before Ha'adwan Yahweh. And if I believe it's First Kings or Second Kings, where it's talking about how that works in heaven when the Lord, works. The Lord Yahweh will say, it's like not heaven, but how that works. The Lord will say, who will go give out this judgment? And the angel Elohim on the left hand side will say, I will do this, Lord. The angels on the right side say, I will do this, Lord. And then he decides what you want to do, right? So it's like a meeting, and this is what has happened. And Shaitan, Satan, came along among them to present himself before Ha'adwan Yahweh. And Ha'adwan Yahweh said unto Satan, from whence thou cometh? And Satan answered Ha'adwan Yahweh, he said, from going to and fro on the earth and walking up and down it. Ha'adwan Yahweh said unto Shaitan, hast thou considered my servant Job? There is none like him in the earth. He's a perfect, upright man, one that fears the power and skewish evil. Still he holdeth fast his integrity, although he moveth against him to destroy him without cause. Let's go down. Now you see this talking about, have you tried to test Job, right? Let's go here. So now let's hop down to 7. Job 2 and 7. So went Shaitan forth from the presence of Ha'adwan Yahweh and smote Job with sore boils and from the sole of his foot to his crown. So he had boils all over his body. All over his body. He took him from potsherd to scrape himself withal and sat down among the ashes. So who's putting Job through hell? Right? Now you ask, okay, well, how did this come with faith? What does it got to do with faith? We're going to talk about it right here. The book of Job, chapter 2 and 9. Then said his wife unto him, doth thou still retain thine integrity? Curse the power and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the power, if we shall not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips? So with all the hell he was catching, everything he was going through, Job still was like, this is a part of it. And he still kept his faith. And he's kept his integrity. You see that? How important that is? You see these notable men, Job, Abraham. And if we continue to go on, we can go on and read so many other stories about different notable men having faith and how that, what that did for them, right? But I also want to pull this story here about a young man that did not have faith. The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 20. The young man saith unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? This is young man kept the commandments, did everything right. He said, What am I lacking? I did what I was supposed to do. Yahushua, what do I lack? Yahushua said unto him, And thou wilt be perfect. Go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful. He had great possessions. You know why? Because he didn't have faith. That's what he lacked. But you see how important that faith was. Although he had all the works, he had no faith. It didn't do nothing. So it's very important that you got faith. But that was a quick lesson I just wanted to discuss and talk about. I don't desire that lesson was edifying. They give you some peace. You know, you gotta give all praises and honors to my power, Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakadash. Shalom to Malcolm Akwath, and I'm buying that tuned this video. That's peace to the brothers, sisters, and children that tuned this video. Shalom.